I forgot to hit the recording button. Hi, okay, we're gonna start over and pretend that didn't happen. Hi, everybody. I'm Danny, your star director. So first of all, thank you for joining this evening. So anyway, in Ohana, we have 2 sets of directors so far, until you guys all become directors as well. So we've got Danny and Diane Burnett, who are directors of Cabin Crew, and then we've got Dana Herbert, who is director of the Dreamer and Doers Pod. So Dana promoted in July of this year, and her team has since really grown and exploded. It's been awesome. She's got some really great up-and-coming leaders. Their team's been doing really well, and she's been doing extremely well. Dana is a rock star when it comes to recruiting. Dana, how many did you recruit last month? 11?
11, yeah.
11.
It was crazy.
So a huge amount of recruiting. So she has done amazing. And that wasn't just last month. She's consistently an amazing recruiter. So we're going to have her go live at another point with us on how she does her recruiting. But what I wanted her to talk about with you guys this evening is she actually just got back a few days ago from Director Bootcamp. Now, for those of you who have no idea what that is, it's a big deal. So when you hit Director, hi, Julia. When you hit Director, you get the opportunity at that point to attend Director Bootcamp, which is in pretty much the best place other than Disneyland, Cincy Home Office. So if you have not seen pictures of Cincy Home Office, definitely look them up because it is amazing. It is this gorgeous campus. And they've got, so you know all of our scent buddies, you guys? Did you know that there is a life-size scent buddy for every scent buddy we've ever had? I'm talking life-size, like you and me size. Huge, enormous scent buddies. And you know how home office employees know that they're coming out with a new scent buddy? They walk in and there's a new one on the floor. So they even had Dumbo hanging from the rafters on one of the floors of home office. So it is like the most magical place to go. It's so awesome. I attended boot camp 3 years ago, October 3 years ago, and it was magical. One of the best things about boot camp for me was just how bright and beautiful and how every single person there loves their job. And not only loves their job, but loves us. They appreciate us so much as consultants. And one of the biggest shocks for me personally was I always in my head pictured consultant support as like this dark, dingy place. And it is so the opposite of that. You walk in and there's windows on every wall. They've got, I don't know if you guys have been to IKEA, but like the green leaves that like you can snap over like a crib or something. They have those all over their desk to get rid of the glare on their computer screens. They've got buddies everywhere. They've got a whole wall of warmers. So that was one of the coolest places in there as well for me. But anyway, enough about me. I want her to talk to you guys about what she loved most about boot camp. So all you have to do is hit Director one time and you are invited to Director Bootcamp. They hold it twice a year, so either in October or in April. So as long as you hit Director prior to registration, you are able to register and go. And it is an amazing experience. You get training from home office and a bunch more stuff. So anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Dana to talk about her experiences and her biggest takeaways.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go back right now. She said boot camp and I almost burst into tears because it really is. It's home. And I love Disney. I am a Disney person. But if you gave me the chance, hey, you want to go to a home office for a day or Disney for a week? And I'd be like, all right, let's go to home office because it's that amazing. And it sounds silly, but you'll understand when you get there. If I had to name this something, I would say fight for your right to go to boot camp. Because I'm going to be honest with you, you need to go into this knowing that it's not going to be as easy. More than likely, there's going to be a ton of stuff that gets in the way between you and boot camp. And if you feel in your gut that you need to be there, you need to fight for it because there's a reason that you need to be there. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. The first night you get there, you get to do stuff with your boot camp brothers and sisters. And yes, there was actually guys there too. I brought my husband, another person brought her husband, and then there was a guy consultant there. And from the second you meet these people, you know, they quickly become your people. If you're somebody that's not surrounded by people at your level or that supports you or anything like that, you're going to absolutely love this. And keep yourself open.
Uh-oh, you cut out.
Oh, I have awful signal. I might have to go on the porch. Hold on. Let me run to the porch. I'm back in the 90s at my grandma's house. Okay, my signal should get better out here. Just, fight for the opportunity to get there. Keep yourself open to every single opportunity. Don't sit in the corner. Talk to everybody. Don't worry about your team. Unplug and just absolutely do all the things. Even like I went live on the Fancy Family Consultant freaking page, which is like a huge scary thing. And it was just like, they were like, you want to do it? And we were like, absolutely. So do it. You'll be so impressed with how much home office just literally almost begs you to hear your voice and hear your opinion. And there's focus groups. Absolutely do them. If you're into having your voice heard and feeling like you have a say in this company, do the focus groups. You'll have enough time to get food and get back. So don't even worry about it. Just trust me and do the focus groups. And then you guys get to go on tours and you get to see so much behind the scenes stuff. And like, it sounds silly when you're like, yeah, okay, the workers love us. They do. We were in manufacturing and they were talking about how they had to work overtime and work Saturdays. And everybody was like, thank you. And like, I was like, why are they being so sarcastic right now? But they were legit. They were like, no, seriously, thank you. Because of this, we got to do this and this. And like, they literally they love their jobs and they love us. And oh my gosh, like the people that have been to boot camp, like Diane and Danny, like they know, but you just got to get there. It is business changing. It is life changing. It is all the things. The better you that you've always wanted to be will walk out those doors on that last day of boot camp. Trust me. And we got to spend so much time with Heidi and Orville too, which by the way, yes, they are as amazing as they seem. SSDs pop in. It's just, you got to get there. Just trust me. You have absolutely got to get there. And I mean, there's not much more than you can say than that.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what you thought of the shipping department and processes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and now you can ask my team. I have always told my team, you be nice when you talk to support and shipping or I will come get you. And I don't say things like that very often. So when you guys make the order, it takes a couple days to even get it printed because all of this stuff is done by hand. So you walk in, you pick up your order, you put it on a cart, and you walk around the floor and you find all these items. You make sure each one is quality. You're making sure there's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes when there is stuff wrong, you have to take a different section and then you have to come back and start over again. It is a process. And then they lovingly take it to the next person that's going to touch your order. And she lovingly checks everything like 2 or 3 times and packs it by hand and makes sure everything's secure. Trust me, they do not get enough grace. And if you don't want to complain about shipping charges, by the way, go keep Danny's post in the group because it is not cheap to ship things. And again, even in there, they were so happy. So they loved it. They loved seeing orders. It was just awesome. We packed one order and we wanted to get a hold of that consultant and I wrote her down. I have to find it and just be like, oh my gosh, you're doing awesome because you just love it so much and it's so cool seeing it. So I can't imagine doing that 50 times a day and just, oh my gosh, the skyrocket of love that's going on there. It's crazy.
What did you think about the wax machines?
They were so cool. So they're named after Heidi and Orville's moms, and they're absolutely amazing. And it's really cool that even though the wax machines are pouring wax, there's people right there again checking it, making sure everything's right, making sure nothing had any issues. It's just awesome. And when you walk in that room, smell continuously because there's different waxes and stuff being made, and it smells amazing. One of the coolest scents ever.
Fun fact that when you go into the manufacturing facility for like all of our body and cleaning products and all of that, it is pharmaceutical grade as far as cleanliness and everything goes. Everyone is from head to toe and like sterile garb is really.
Yep, you got to suit up.
Yep, and it's not even a required process, but it's something that Scentsy makes sure that they do so that everything is the highest quality.
And you guys would be surprised how many guidelines that Scentsy follows that they don't have to follow. For example, for a lot of fragrance things, we follow European laws, which are much stricter than ours so that we don't have any issues and that they don't have any issues over there either, which I love. If there's a chance for them to be above the board, they are way above the board. Yep,
exactly. Talk to us about the farm.
So the farm was awesome, and I can't even explain to you how emotional it'll make you feel. You know, you go to one part and you get to see exactly what their office was and what their table was, and you'll see remnants of their kids being little being there, and it just really strikes you of how they started from the absolute bottom, just like a lot of us. I know a lot of us on this call have been told numerous times that we can never do amazing things in our life, and we believed it. And there's other people doing it. So if they can, we absolutely can. Just the emotions, they were amazing. And consultant support, she is not kidding. That is like the happiest room on earth. I saw the giant wall of products, and they actually had to shoo me out of this room because we were going around giving everybody hugs and loving on them, and we were kind of late to our next thing. And I was the last one, of course, loving on everybody. But they had that huge wall of products. And like, we weren't even looking at that, even though it was amazing, because we were just so excited to see all the consultants. And they remember you, not the consultants, the support. They literally remember you, which is just crazy. And they have a wall when you walk in, and it has so in one of the groups, they posted about how support was in there early and on a holiday, and like a whole bunch of consultants commented underneath. Well, they had that printed out on their corkboard as like inspiration and why they do what they do. And it's awesome. You will fall in love with every single person there, and you will just build like the best relationships. And do not even get me started on the food. Hands down the best food you've ever had in your entire life.
Oh yeah, they don't skimp on food, which is awesome.
And it was healthy food too. Like, how can you make healthy food taste that good?
And
the blueberry scones, they're everything.
Scentsy even has their own gym for employees to utilize. They've got a wellness team because they feel like not only, you know, being mentally healthy, but physically healthy, having a healthy body, healthy mind, healthy business. They are very much all about the wellness. And
yes, they are.
Whenever you guys call in to consultant support, so say you call consultant support because you want to know how tall a warmer is, like they actually can put you on hold, walk over to the wall of warmers, has every active product that we have, and they can measure it right there for themselves or look at it. So if you say, hey, is this warmer really this color, or is it more this color in person? And they can walk over and they can tell you exactly what it is that you're asking with every active product that we have.
Absolutely.
For those of you some of you guys are new, so you don't know the backstory of the farm. But if you've not heard the Scentsy story yet, go to YouTube and type in the Scentsy story, and you'll find where Heidi and Orville have talked about how they started Scentsy, how they were introduced to to Colette. And anyway, when they bought Scentsy, they literally brought everything from Scentsy and put it in a shipping container, like a shipping container that you would like take off a barge or like the back of a semi. And that's what they poured wax from. Like they literally had crock pots and pitchers, and they used, you know, when you go to Michael's and you can get the jewelry containers that have like the slots in them, that's what they made bars out of. So when you got a bar of wax, it was literally a giant thick cube of wax. And they have all the original cubes in there. They've got the original catalogs in there, boxing in there, all the stuff. And then so it was on this piece of property, and there's cows still on that property. They still own it. But the shipping container's still out there. There are little farmhouses still out there. The office, like this office area that they have, is still out there with the desks and stuff inside. And so they bring you to there and talk to you about the Scentsy story and how it went from that to what it is now. So you can kind of really get to see where the roots came from. Okay, Dana, talk to me about the type of training you learned.
So you get a lot of hands-on training. They walk you through a lot of workstation, which was really nice. And they really review all the tools that we have available. And number two, they give you a lot of just practical steps of, okay, you're a director. What does that mean now? So, you know, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I left needing boot camp desperately. I was very kind of burnt out and run down feeling. And I had implemented some business practices that weren't super helpful for me and just kept me feeling overwhelmed and tired and like I couldn't catch up. And boot camp gave me the two things I needed. I needed a really good support system. Trust me, I already have a great one with my team. Sometimes you need just a little bit more that's, you know, kind of going for the same level than you. And just get it. It was just so cool to have that bonding experience with them. But it also gave me a lot of really practical, okay, this is something you can do in your business. It's going to make things easier for you, which was just awesome. They also, you'll get a chance, I'm not going to say too much to spoil it, but you're going to get a chance to talk to some people that are pretty amazing in the company, like maybe some SSDs, and that will be super encouraging also. And just, they give you, it's not a lot of, oh, think happy thoughts, you'll do great. If you're a hands-on person, you're going to love it because they're going to give you so much information, and you get to go home with so much information to implement in your business and your team. You're just going to be like overwhelmed with knowledge. You're going to feel like the richest person in the world.
Yeah, boot camp is definitely not frosting and sprinkles. Okay, boot camp is you are going to get full quality information that you need now that you are. So basically, boot camp is now you're a leader and a director. What next? How do I maintain the title? How do I go from this title? So you're learning things like how to run specific reports in your workstation, what you should be looking for as number patterns, how to identify up and coming leaders to get them to where you are so that you can continue to promote and go further. And then talk to me about the different areas of home office so we already talked about you went to the shipping and manufacturing department, you went to customer service. What are the other kind of departments that you got to meet and rub elbows with?
So everywhere you go, first off, it's very bright and airy. It does not feel like an office. It just feels like the happiest place on earth. We had a lot of people come to us. We got to talk to some fragrance company, like the heads of the fragrance departments in certain areas. That was really cool.
So and you got to learn how fragrances are built?
Yes, they told us a little bit about how fragrance things were built. They gave us a lot of tactical information on fragrance, which was really cool. And asked our opinions on things and how they were, which was awesome because who doesn't want to feel like they're heard in their own company? And then downstairs, y'all got to go downstairs when you get there. That's where it's gorgeous down there. It's so cool. Where else did we get to go? There was somewhere else.
You also got to talk to the compliance compartment, correct?
Yes, we did. So they actually had we had a training with the compliance department, and I kind of always pictured the compliance department as a very I'm out to get you kind of person. And surprisingly, they're not. They're very, let's work with you to solve whatever issues there are going on, which can be absolutely amazing. And they told us, don't even hesitate to call in if you have any questions and you want to hear it straight from the source, call in. And they're awesome. They really try to do so much for us, like people that take Jack and sell them illegally. They try to break that down so that we can keep our customers still. And they're just awesome. Truly, there's so many cogs to the system that nobody even knows and thinks about. And each single person in those cogs is so happy and just constantly pushing love towards you. So whenever, if something goes wrong, if something breaks, because it happens, it's life. Lord knows how many mistakes have we all made today and had crazy things happen. Scentsy has it too. And I hope that just everybody, that's one thing Bootcamp will teach you is just how much everybody loves you. And I just hope that we can all take a little bit of that love and a little bit of that grace and spread it around our team and make everybody be nice to Scentsy Home Office because they're literally the best people you met in your entire life. We had a tragedy there. My uncle passed while we were there. And they offered to do just about anything they could to get us home if needed to, which meant including covering costs while we were there. One of my boot camp friends that we met there, she had some health issues, went to the hospital and found out she had a blood clot, so she couldn't fly. I'm pretty positive they flew her husband up and paid for it, but I also know that they tried to get her a train ride home and was going to pay for it. These people, this whole company as a whole, heart is so beyond massive and literally beats for every single one of us, whether you just joined yesterday or you joined 10 years ago. Literally, they love the snot out of us. It's just overwhelming.
I know when I attended boot camp, I brought my daughter Reese, and she was only 4 months old at the time, and I was so nervous because it was the first time I had ever traveled alone, but also alone with a baby. Which was very nerve-wracking, going through airports and shuttles and doing all the things with my baby, and then meeting up with 30 strange women I had never met, and then home off. Very crazy, chaotic experience, especially, and 4 months old, it's still fairly new and little. And I remember the very last night at our boot camp graduation dinner that they had catered for us and everything. I had my daughter in one hand and I was trying to one-handed do a plate with me, and all of us, I went to sit down and eat, eat one-handed, as all of us moms do. We're pretty used to that, right? And all of a sudden I had a tap on my shoulder, and I looked back, and it was Orville. And he goes, "Here, give her to me. You can eat, but you can eat with two hands." And he walked over. She passed out in his arms, and he had a half hour before he gave her back. But that's how it is. It's family oriented. Everyone was there to help. I actually had packed what I thought was more than enough diapers. I ended up running out right before I left. I wasn't going to have enough to get home. And our boot camp platoon leader from home office, she was pretty much the one that made sure that we were all taken care of. I asked her, I was like, where's the closest store? I'm going to have to run to get some diapers before I leave. And she goes, no, what size is it? I'll get it. And she's like, don't worry about it. I'll cover it too. And so, she ran and got me diapers and paid for it and everything. But that's just the family atmosphere that you go into when you are at boot camp. The other really great thing when you go to boot camp is the very first thing they do is there's a nice little piece of paper and a pen sitting right there for you, because they're having you sign a non-disclosure agreement with their lawyer. Because when you're at home office, there's a lot of secrets that spill. Chuck and Orville definitely cannot keep a very good secret.
Hey, Heidi was in on it this year too. Heidi was pretty talkative.
So it's really awesome to have your ear to the ground while you're sitting at different tables and have them openly talk with you and ask your opinion about things. So I was actually part of the conversation when Orville, he had come over to me and said, "Can I ask you guys a question?" Well, it was me and one other girl. And of course, whenever Orville says, "Can I ask you a question?" the answer to that is, "Heck yes, you can." And he what do you think about like different partnerships? And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, when you think of something like, I don't know, Disney, what kind of companies do you feel about that? Feel with that?" And he said, "Would you think like Scentsy would be a good partnership for Disney?" And I'm like, yeah. So he had discussed some of that with me months and months prior to releasing our Disney line. So there's really exciting things that you get privy to when you attend functions like this, because of just the involvement that they encompass you in.
Mm-hmm.
I won't make.
We're gonna have a great year, guys.
Yes, we are. I won't make Dana break her non-disclosure or anything, but I'm sure she was privy to many, many secrets that she gets to excitedly bust at the seams about.
Be prepared for late conversations with Chuck. I will say that, it is a way, it's a break, yes, it's a vacation, but remember that you'd be surprised how much fun you'd have just sitting in the lobby with some of the boot campers. You don't have to go out. You don't have to drink. You don't have to party. Build those relationships, and I promise it's going to be the thing that gets you to so much more parties and fun things. Do every situation you have to talk to somebody, do it. And, I mean, one night we stayed up till 1:30, which was 3:30 our time, so trust me, I don't say it lightly. I mean, sometimes you had to fight to stay awake, but
when it comes
the
to
stuff that happens there is magic.
When it comes to opportunities like that, you can sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, it was absolutely. And my husband and I both knew that going into it, that we were going to do all the things no matter what was asked of us. And we did. And we have zero regrets. And I have walked away so much fuller and better as a person because of it.
Talk to me about your boot camp group, how your relationship with them has been since boot camp.
So we started off, they'll create a Facebook group for you guys. Connect in there a little bit, but don't worry too much. Don't feel like you have to plug in. Once you get there, you'll just build a relationship with them. And even the ones that you saw the less because of schedule problems or whatever, they literally become your best friend. It sounds so silly, but it becomes a sorority. We talk every day since several times a day. We have a Facebook group. We have a Marco Polo. We have all the things. One of the girls actually talked in United Rewise tonight, Brianna, and she is just amazing. They become these people that breathe life into you and constantly keep your wheels turning, and they're just there for you in the hard times. And we haven't even been out long, and we can already see how much of an impact we're having on each other's lives. It's absolutely amazing. The connections that you're praying and longing for right now, I'm telling you, fight for boot camp, because that's where you're going to find them.
Another thing that you learn at boot camp from Sarah Walker at Home Office is, how to deal with stress as a leader, conflict within your team as a leader. So it really equips you for the next stages of your leadership. And not that you will ever encounter any kind of conflicts, but that you're prepared for different scenarios if they were to ever come up. So boot camp is definitely a huge blessing and a huge benefit to promoting to director and getting you to those next levels and next goals of your business.
And you go into it feeling very much like, I don't even know if I should be here. I don't even know if I should be a director. And everybody felt that way. There was one girl that had been a director for numerous years, and she was actually a star director when she ended up going. But, just don't let that feeling stay. Everybody belongs there. You're going to walk away from this so much more confident and so much more grounded. And you're literally going to feel like you have an entire company behind you fighting for you, because guess what? Surprise, you do.
And I don't know if you felt this as well, Dana, but going to boot camp for me was very eye-opening in the fact that you look around this room of 20 to 30 women who are all very different as far as person age, where they come from, their backgrounds. And it just goes to show you that there's not a type that makes this business work. Literally anyone in any stage, in any walk of life, in any region,
absolutely,
can make this happen and become a director and go past that.
And we each have our own time frame, and it's something, if you've known me long enough, you'll hear me say it several times. We all have our own story, and the great part about that is when you stand on stage and tell your story, there's going to be people in the audience that relate to that, and they were just holding on, waiting for one thing, and that was their sign, and now they're going to go and they're going to tell their story, and it's just going to ripple out. So you've got to remember that. Keep doing it for the people that are, the future yous that are in the same spot, wishing, man, can I do this? Prove to them they can.
Yeah, and you're meeting, 20 to 30 people that are all have similar goals and are all in the same phases and seasons of their business that you kind of link arms with and use as accountability partners, use as pacing partners, and push and encourage each other as you continue on through your journeys.
Absolutely. And you'd be surprised how much that does for your business. Truly. Yes. And you as a person and your well-being and your happiness.
Okay, guys, so I want to open it up to some questions. So if you guys want to type out some questions in the little Zoom chat, we have about 5 minutes for open Q&A. Anybody have any questions? I'm trying to think of any while we wait. Dana, tell me about when you first arrived to home office that very first day. What did you expect?
So I'd seen a little bit from Diane when she went to boot camp. And the first day, you're ready, man. You set the bar high. This is going to be amazing. And you get out that bus and everybody's screaming and hollering and there's music. And somehow they even surpass your expectations. You're just instantly home and you're instantly with family that you didn't know was even family.
Yeah, there's almost like a little welcome parade when you get to that very first day of boot camp. It's amazing. They hold up signs with your name on it and they're cheering and they're hugging you. It is the coolest experience. I actually got really teary-eyed when I was also 4 months post baby and still 4 months.
And it's not fake at all either. I saw people that worked there running to try to get there before we all came out because they were so excited to be a part of it. Every single bit of it is so genuine. They don't do it because it stamps their paycheck. They literally do it because they love us.
And were there any special desks that you got to sit behind?
Yeah, we got to go in Heidi and Orville's office, which, by the way, is just mind-changing. Yes, we got to sit in their desks and couches, which was so cool. Just, guys, y'all got to get there, and then we can call and you'll be like, oh my gosh, and I'll be like, I know.
And there's also what they call director wall.
Yes, where everybody gets to sign. And if you have time there, see, we were rushed because I took too long to work, so we were kind of late. But if you take more time, you can look for people you might know's names. And then I also heard that when people go to Storm Summit and SSD Summit, they find their names and they write something else beside it, which I thought was pretty cool.
I mean, you've got people like, Christina Stainbrook, Candy Hine, Chloe Cox, all the big names that you look up to now, they all started right where you guys are, and they attended that boot camp and they signed that wall with all the aspirations that you guys have. And then look at where they go, which is such a humbling experience.
Absolutely. Just remember that if they did it, if anybody else did it, that means you absolutely can too.
Absolutely.
I will say, keep some money back for the commemorative Christmassy warmer for this year because it's going to be awesome. I will say that. That's the only thing I can say that won't get me in trouble.
Do you guys remember the Tannenbaum warmer from last year? The big Christmas tree that wound up and then the train goes around it. It moves around. So yeah, Samantha's saying, yes, she remembers. Okay, so that was a commemorative Christmas warmer. We also have had a gingerbread house in the past, like a big, beautiful, like our haunted mansion that we just had. We had a gingerbread one. We had a big nutcracker one time, a giant nutcracker warmer. So those are all commemorative Christmas warmers. They're all limited edition, so they're only while supplies last kind of thing. So Dana is hinting that potentially there is one coming up this season, so you might want to start putting some money back so that you can snag one when that releases as well. And I don't know if any of you guys had heard, but at the top 50 trip that they just took in British Columbia, that was actually something I had earned, but I chose to take the level 3 rewards instead. So the top 50 from the summer incentive got to go to Canada for 3 days and stay in the big, beautiful Victorian hotel. They had Victorian tea and they went whale watching. There was so much awesome stuff. But anyway, at the awards ceremony, Heidi and Orville had mentioned that they still have many tricks up their sleeves for the rest of the year. And they said that Jack and Darth are not even the best sellers that they allotted for this season. So if you think Jack and Darth were the big home runs, think again, sisters, because there is something even bigger in store for us still to come. So they did not even anticipate those being the best sellers of this season. They are currently, but not overall in the whole season.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
So you ain't seen nothing yet. And Heidi had mentioned, if you can dream it, we can have it. So if that doesn't it as to what is coming in the next couple of months, I don't know what will. It's so exciting. Awesome. Any other questions, you guys? We've got just
how much time do we have?
I think it's going to cut us off in just a moment.
Oh, man.
So I'm sure Dana can talk about this forever and ever. And I know Dana did record a YouTube video for us and share it about some of her takeaways for Bootcamp. So if you look in our Ohana page, I'm sure you could find that, or Dana, you could reshare it for us and more of her details. But so all of this is what happens when you get to go to Bootcamp, when you hit director. So huge goals. Who here wants to be a director? Everybody better be raising their hand and saying I am right now. Awesome. I mean, aside from like the paychecks and stuff, right? we're not going to pretend that money's not a thing, right?
It's a game changer, guys. It is a game changer.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dana, so much for sharing your experience. We'll have Diane and Danny come on about experiences as well, so that they can talk about how they interpreted Bootcamp and how they enjoyed it and their takeaways. So we'll have them come on as well. Awesome, guys. Okay, so our little Zoom picture so that we can shame everybody who wasn't here.
Like 6 seconds.
Just kidding. Okay, 1, 2. Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you with us.
Love you guys.
Bye.